life. I am Reverend Dr. Henry Lee Bates, coming to you live from Palm Springs, California. Today our message is titled, Regarding the Illusion of Money, the Illusion of Money. In the cover of his book, The Illusion of Money, Kyle Cease writes, money is one of the biggest excuses we make to not go after what we really want. Our fixation with money, the desire for more of it, is often just a longing to feel safe. But this obsession with money is coming at a much bigger cost. Our sanity, our creativity, our freedom, and our ability to step into our true power. It's from The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease, C-E-A-S-E. Now, I wrote in my weekly message, which is published on both RevBates.com and RevBates on the radio last week, that I had started listening to a YouTube video of The Illusion of Money, which is a preview of a book titled The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. After reading all the comments regarding the book, both positive and negative, I decided to buy the book and see what it contains that has made Kyle Cease so very popular with spiritual seekers. He reminded me of Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements and Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, and the popularity that both received from their books. Now, I am always open and receptive to other teachers' ideas about spiritual principles and concepts, so I was looking forward to reading his book. I don't agree with all that he is teaching, as I am sure there are those who don't agree with all that I teach, but from what I have previewed his work, it is very interesting, and his delivery of his message is extraordinary. The great spiritual teacher and healer, Joel Goldsmith, wrote that there will never be any new truth, only different presentations of the truth, and this I believe as well. What the Four Agreements and The Secret both accomplished was to present this truth to people who otherwise would not have learned of it. Now, seasoned spiritual seekers didn't learn anything new from either book, yet both books gave us a wonderful reminder of that which we have come to accept and believe, presented in a different way. And Kyle Cease, whose background was as an accomplished and popular comedian, is accomplishing the same with his work and his book, The Illusion of Money. Like the Four Agreements and The Secret, he also gives us some spiritual practices that differ from what traditional teachers have used to move us in mind and consciousness to a deeper level of spiritual awareness. The following is an example of how his presentation differs from all the others. This is from his book. He writes, the belief that money equals security is what causes many insecure people to be completely owned by money and to do things that harm other people, the planet, and themselves. They are obsessively chasing an illusion of external security. The truth is, we can never actually be fully secure externally. We're flying through space at thousands of miles an hour in a solar system with exploding stars all around us. We live on a planet with bears. There are spiders everywhere. Even though we try to convince ourselves otherwise, we ultimately have very little control over our external security. Life is very temporary. So if there's actually no way to be completely secure externally, the only place where an experience of real security can happen is inside. There is a place inside of you that can't be touched by anything that happens around you. This is where you have access to true security. True security is knowing that you are not your external circumstances. True security is befriending all of the insecure fears that show up in your mind. True security is falling in love with the unknown and making it your home. True security doesn't even care about spiders. If you think this transient, temporary thing called money is your source of security, you will always be insecure even when you have it. Even when you have it. So he goes on to tell us that we will never change our feeling of insecurity by having more money. Money, he says, is never the cause of the way you feel, excuse me, it's an effect. Not everyone will accept this right away, but as we delve deeper into our mind and heart, we will find this to be true. So many of the issues that we face of a negative nature, that is things like debt, things like loneliness and depression, lack, that is lack of money, lack of motivation, lack of success, and illnesses, are caused by our feelings of being insecure. So going back a few thousand years to the teachings of the Mastermind Jesus, we find his words that give us the same truth. The kingdom of God is within you. Within each of us, there is that place in our consciousness that holds our security. It is at the soul level, and no one and no thing can reveal it to us but ourselves. In the ancient wisdom, it is referred to as the pearl of great price. The pearl of great price. So let's go back and think about that pearl of great price, and the kingdom of God is within you. And let's look again at these words from Kyle Cease. The belief that money equals security is what causes many insecure people to be completely owned by money and to do things that harm other people, the planet, and themselves. They are obsessively chasing an illusion of external security. The truth is, we can never actually be fully secure externally. There is a place inside of you that can't be touched by anything that happens around you. This is where you have access to true security. True security is knowing that you are not your external circumstances. True security is befriending all of the insecure fears that show up in your mind. True security is falling in love with the unknown and making it your home. So we want to think about this. One of the exercises he gives us in the book is to write down 20 things that we believe about money. 20 things that we believe about money, about getting money and getting security. You know, there are those who say that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and there are people that think that there's never enough money, or that, you know, some people are born with a silver spoon. So we need to look at all those things. He says 20. I'm sure for most people it's going to be very hard to write down 20. You know, we're going to come up with maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 things fairly easily, but then we have to really push our mind to come up with more. But the important thing about pushing our mind to come up with more to get to that 20 is that as we just make that commitment to write down 20 and to get to the 20, then we'll start bringing forth through our mind some of the things that we hold in our heart and soul as true about money, that we believe about money, that we don't consciously are aware of all the time. And some of those things, some of those beliefs are holding us back. Remember, let's go back to the Mastermind Jesus. It says the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. So we know that within us, within our very own heart, mind, and soul, there's a power within us to create for us, to draw to us, that spirit that brings us the feeling of happiness and harmony and love and joy, and those things will attract to us the more wonderful life. That wonderful life may be filled with money or things that money can buy, or we may be so busy being happy and feeling the joy of life and loving life that whatever money we have or whatever money we get is always sufficient for us, either way. Remember, this soul level recognition that the kingdom of God is within us is a pearl of great price. Now, the illusion of money is filled with spiritual practices, some new and some not new at all, but all, if practiced with consistency, will benefit us as we move into the spiritual awareness that is necessary for us to feel the love for ourselves and for life itself that moves us into a consciousness of love and peace and harmony and joy and abundance. To be in love with the unknown is another way of directing our faith and power away from that which is external to us. So we've all heard the statement, faith is the strength of the soul and lost is the person without it. Faith is the strength of the soul and lost is the person without it. Now, Soren Kierkegaard, who was a Danish philosopher, his name is spelled Soren, S-O-R-E-N. Kierkegaard is K-I-E-R-K-E-G-A-A-R-D, in case anyone wants to look this up. He was a Danish philosopher, generally known as the father of existentialism. And in the ancient wisdom, we can read, faith is the evidence of things not seen. In other words, faith is the evidence of things not seen, but our faith is in the things not seen, not in the things that are visible, that are external to us. So these powerful quotes give us something to remember as we keep our attention off the external. So it's up to us to be willing to do that. It's up to us to be willing to let ourselves be enriched in mind and heart and soul by spiritual practice. And every spiritual practice brings us closer and closer to that deeper level of soul that each of us wants to realize, because that's where the kingdom of God is within you, is located within you. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, and heaven is not low here or low there, that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So if the kingdom of God is within us, and the kingdom of heaven is at hand, that means the way to get to that heaven, the way to get to that life that we feel is a wonderful life, is to realize and connect with that kingdom of God within us, that spark of the divine within each and every one of us. Now, when I look at this book, once again, it's The Illusion of Money by Kyle Cease. It's why chasing money is stopping you from receiving it. When I look at the table of contents, think about these titles. One is Welcome to the Illusion. Chapter 2 is Find Your Own Answers. Chapter 3 is The Illusion of Security. Chapter 4 is The Illusion of Being Broke. Chapter 5 is I Love My Current Bank Account. Chapter 6 is Raising Your Value. Chapter 7 is The Helens, and that's a very fascinating chapter. I read it today. Chapter 8 is The Tens. Chapter 9 is Your Average Amount of Alignment. Chapter 10 is Hoarding Your Past. Chapter 11 is Falling in Love with Your Expansion. Chapter 12 is Becoming Your Intention. Chapter 13 is Giving. And chapter 14 is You Own Nothing and Everything. Chapter 15 is Unconditional Love. Chapter 16 is Unlimited Possibility. And chapter 17 is Going Off the Deep End. Now, the reason I read these titles of these chapters is because that gives you insight into where this book will take you, where all spiritual teaching is supposed to take you, and that's for you to find and realize the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. But we get so caught up in the externals. We get so caught up in saying, I need more money, I need more of this, I need more of that we fail to realize the power that's within us. We keep giving power to all these externals, to rich people, One of the things that a number of people voted for President Donald Trump was because they believed that he was a great businessman, and because he was a successful businessman, that he would bring success to the country as well. People look to other people for their guidance. They look to other people for the good that they desire. There's no way anyone will find any satisfaction from outside of them. Everything is an inside job. Everything we are to accomplish that brings us any measure of happiness or success or love or joy is within us. It's the kingdom of heaven within us. Once again, I want to go back and read that paragraph from the cover of the book. Money is one of the biggest excuses we make to not go after what we really want. What we really want. Our fixation with money, the desire for more of it, is often just a longing to feel safe. But this obsession with money is coming at a much bigger cost. Our sanity, our creativity, our freedom, and our ability to step into our own true power. So it's up to each of every one of us to find that kingdom of God that's within us, that the Mastermind Jesus was referring to. It's within each and every one of us to realize once and for all what it means to feel good about ourselves, to love who we are, to love this thing called life that we're living, to be so secure within ourselves that everything starts happening for us because we're not resisting or fighting anything. We're not feeling unworthy. We're not pushing anything away from us. We're not bearing something within our mind that we don't want to remember or we don't want to see the light of day for other people to know about us. We just bring all this up and clear it out of our way so we can move on into this greater experience of happiness and joy. And the illusion of money, Kyle Cease gives us a different perspective of giving, that I instantly found to be worth considering. He writes, how much you can give is based on how much you understand that you are connected to the source of money rather than the money. I'm not saying you should give money away so that you can receive money, because that doesn't work. If you're giving just so you can receive, you're still energetically saying that you're in lack. Having said that, proving to yourself that you are the source of your abundance by giving beyond your old story can be a powerful way to release the part of you that has been blocking abundance from coming in. When you hand someone a check or give your time or your energy in a way that stretches you, you're literally handing over a representation of your old story and making room for a new reality. Making room for a new reality. In other words, he's telling us to look at how we give differently. Don't ever give to get. Freely give, freely receive. Those are the words from the Mastermind Jesus once again in the ancient scriptures. Don't expect something. Even if you're giving your time, even if you're giving your service, don't expect somebody to pat you on the back. Don't even expect to thank you. And then realize how wonderful it is when you do get that thank you, when you do get that acknowledgement that people appreciate what you're doing. And when you give money, don't give money to impress anyone. Give from what it is that makes you feel good in your heart, but also makes you feel good when you look at your bank account or you look at your cash on hand. He writes in his book, we often get in the habit of appreciating only the things that we pay for. If you've ever been offered a free ticket to see a movie, you might have noticed how much less interested you were in seeing that movie. It's really true that the best things in life are free. That is oxygen, gravity, sunlight, love, connection, our planet, our body, meditation, etc. But because we don't pay for them, we often miss the best things. We often miss the best things. Expanding our abundance is really expanding our awareness of appreciation to include those things that we usually overlook. To include those things which we usually overlook. So let's all appreciate life. Let's all appreciate everything. Let's appreciate where we live, how we live. Let's appreciate our body. Let's appreciate the time that we spend in our mind, us be still and know that at some point in my consciousness there is a place that is not moved by my history or anything else, and I can appreciate that to the greatest degree. To appreciate literally means to increase value, he tells us. The more you appreciate yourself and the world around you, the more you raise your value and your ability to receive value. Living in the field of appreciation lifts you out of the problems that so many people are obsessed with. While one person is going crazy and screaming at people in a traffic jam, another person in the car right next to him could be in the vibration of appreciation and thinking how amazing it is that we even have cars. It's in that kind of vibration that forward-moving ideas can come to us. I once heard a story about someone who called being stuck in Los Angeles traffic their temple, and that they often have many of their best business ideas there in the vibration of appreciation. The experience of appreciation is open and spacious and makes room for inspired creativity to come through. When you're in the problem, there's no room for solutions to show up. When you're in the problem, there's no room for solutions to show up. We should keep that in mind. Let's go back to our good friend Kyle Cease and look at these words. The belief that money equals security is what causes many insecure people to be completely owned by money and to do things that harm other people, the planet, and themselves. They are obsessively chasing an illusion of external security. The truth is, we can never actually be fully secure externally. We're flying through space at thousands of miles an hour in a solar system with exploding stars all around us. We live on a planet with bears. There are spiders everywhere. Even though we try to convince ourselves otherwise, we ultimately have very little control over our external security. So if there's actually no way to be completely secure externally, the only place where an experience of real security can happen is inside. There's a place inside of you that can't be touched by anything that happens around you. This is where you have access to true security. True security is knowing that you are not your external circumstances. True security is befriending all of the insecure fears that show up in your mind. True security is falling in love with the unknown and making it your home. True security doesn't even care about spiders. If you think this transient, temporary thing called money is your source of security, you will always be insecure even when you have it, even when you have it. And he goes on to tell us that we will never change our feelings of insecurity by having more money. Money, he says, is never the cause of the way you feel. It's an effect. And not everyone, I'm telling you right now, not everyone will accept this right away, but as we delve deeper into our mind and our heart, we'll find that this is true. It's really true. It's absolutely the truth. Now, Kyle Cease has several videos on YouTube.com that you can watch. It's K-Y-L-E, Kyle Cease, C-E-A-S-E. Just search for him on YouTube.com, and you can watch his videos and listen to him. And his book, The Illusion of Money, I highly recommend that you consider buying it and taking the time to read and contemplate the message and follow the spiritual practices that he gives you. Because each and every one of us can open our mind, our heart, and our soul to a fuller, more wonderful, more glorious experience of life and release that imprisoned splendor within our mind, our heart, and our soul that's trapped us into believing that somehow, some way, these things will never work for us. Because each and every one of us have that power within us. So when we think that things don't work for us, we've already put that idea in our mind as a block to our good. So let's know that things will work for us. These things will work for us. They will give us an opening in our mind to accept that greater idea, that greater feeling of power and spirit and intelligence that will draw to us the people, the places, the things necessary for us to enjoy this thing called life in a greater way. So once again, I want to thank you for being with me today. It's been my great pleasure.